The goalkeeper kicked the soccer ball from the ground. It reaches its maximum height of 24.2 meters after 2.2 seconds. The ball is in the air for 4.4 seconds. Define the quadratic function that models the height of the ball above the ground. Well, we were told the maximum height and the time it takes to get there. So we know the max. So we know the vertex. And as we go to look at our vertex, it's time first, then height. So our time is 2.2, and our height is 24.2. So if we go and look at the scenario, there's the ground, here's our ball being kicked off the ground, up into the air, and it comes back down. Now, we know our max happens here. Easiest way for us to put our numbers on would be our y-axis right there at the ground where we kick off, which means this is 0. This we know is 2.2, 24.2. And we're told the ball is in the air for 4.4 seconds. So when it is no longer in the air, which is right here, we have hit 4.4. Okay. So, looking at this, not only do we know the vertex, we also know x-intercepts. And there happens to be 2 of them. We have one here at 0 and one here at 4.4. So we have x-intercepts of 0 and 4.4, or we could write them as 0, 0 for our first one, and 4.4, 0 for our second one. So, we know our vertex, we know some x-intercepts. Let's use our vertex to help us get our equations. So if we think about that, the x value is the same as our h. So here's our h, there's our k, and our equation format is y equals a, x minus h in brackets squared plus k. So replacing our h and our k, we get y is equal to a, x minus 2.2 squared plus 24.2. Now in order to find a, we are going to need to use another point on our graph. We had 2 of them. Doesn't matter which one you use. I'm going to use the 4.4 x-intercept. So when I go to solve this one, I'm going to use 4.4, 0 to find a. Substituting in, y is now 0, x is now 4.4. Simplifying our brackets, 4.4 minus 2.2 is 2.2 squared plus 24.2. At this stage, I'm going to do 2 things at once. I'm going to move this to the other side, and I'm going to simplify that squared. So this is currently adding, so we're going to subtract 24.2 from both sides of the equal sign. As we go to do that, we get negative 24.2 equals a. 2.2 squared is equal to 4.84. And then 24.2 minus 24.2 is 0. At this stage now, we need to divide both sides by the 4.84, because remember, a letter in a bracket, no sign between them is multiplying. Opposite of multiplying is to divide. So dividing both sides, we get a is equal to negative 5. So this a value, remember, goes in to that equation way up here. So we're going to replace that a. We get y is equal to -5 bracket x minus 2.2 squared plus 24.2. Now, if you wanted to do a check, see if it matters which of those two x-intercepts we use, you can go back and you could, instead of using the 4.4 here, go back, check, put 0 in here and 0 in there, solve. Do you get -5? And you should get -5 when you do that. The second half of this question says, after 4 seconds, how high is the ball above the ground? Well, after 4 seconds is an x value. So x is equal to 4. We have a couple of options on how to do this. One of them is put the equation that we just found into our graphing calculator, graph it, and then use our second trace value. The other option we could do is we could just replace the x in the equation and solve for y. And that's the one that I'm going to do. So, because remember here we're looking for what is y. So we have y is equal to -5, and then we have 4 minus 2.2 in brackets, plus 24.2. This you can actually put into your calculator all in one step. And as you go to put it into your calculator all in one step, you get an answer of 8 meters. So we have the ball is 8 meters above the ground. As our final answer.